So that is the problem going on between new links and old links. Sometimes people are, because of the old memory, so they are joining the old links. And there are sometimes mistakes uh, also happen from the side of host. So it is still continuing. So some important points which I like to mention here was that in a Mahatma mentioned that in a newspaper which Mahatma uh, no, mentioned this newspaper as a Phoenix newspaper, and Mahatma mentioned clearly that in a business there is a possibility of failure. There is no possibility of failure, but delay may be there. Delay may be there. Then second point, he mentioned that there are still the uh, some old followers, rather we say, they are uh, they are on the guidance of the dark forces. They are also telling that Mahatmas are just like Jesuits, shares, deceitful, selfish person, something like that. And another important point relating to third point is that Mahatma clearly told us that don't judge uh, through the European mind, through the European mind uh, or Western mind. Then Mahatma mentioned to accomplish a plan, many agencies require. Many agencies require. So here, failure of one agency may create problem. That was another point. Then Mahatma here mentioned that chelas or lay chela, whatever direction given to them, they must uh, follow it to the core. So there is it is another guidance for the members of Theosophical Society. Whatever is written in our books, particularly in three gems, we should practice in our day-to-day life as if mm, uh, it is a guidance from the great ones to us to develop ourselves as well as to have uh, clear vision how to popularize theosophy movement, a theosophical society. Then further he said that Hume, person like Hume, that is also available within us also, in our society, in humanity also. There are people, they are born with a, Mahatma clearly, born with a diplomacy and intrigues. He means Brother Hume, and also presently, at present, the many are there. They are a creator, preserver, and also they are ready to put a death knell in an institution like this. It is mentioned. Then Mahatma further mentioned that after the completion of this next project, uh, he will no more coming out, means coming out from this invisible world to help the Theosophical Society. Uh, the exact wording is not to peeping out again, not to peeping out again from that world. So this is all about to letter number 105, 106, 107. Now we'll go to the today, what is 108. It is relating to Mahatma letter number 58, received in March 1883. This is another letter, very beautifully uh, given, described in the form of a commentary by Sister Joy Mills. Joy Mills, she wrote a book known as Reflections on an Ageless Wisdom. And as per this chronological letter, she based her commentary, citing many things from secret doctrine, from other parts of the Mahatma letters, uh, and Sister Joy Mills is one of the authority. Means she has a very deep knowledge on Mahatma letters. I was fortunate in my early 30s when I was in Adair. One day I attended her class. Uh, what I remember, Joy Mills told at that time that the Mahatma asked Senator Hume, I have not remember exactly, it is in the year 1994 or 95. Uh, question was, Mahatma told Hume or Senate, maybe one, don't ask immature question. And one German delegates, or one of the German delegate, uh, he asked, her question is always question. How can Mahatma told Senate the immature question? Then Joy Mills explained it for almost 5 to 10 minutes. That person I remember that we should.
Sir, you're
So
muted. Just,
So the problem is here in this letter 108, which is the letter number 58. This is a letter while received while the Senate, Mr. and Mrs. Senate both were in Madras preparing for sailing to England. In a Josephine Ransom's short history of the Theosophical Society, page 179. It is in the top of the this letter. The C mentioned that while the Senates were at Adair on their way to England, Senate was beginning work on his book, Esoteric Buddhism, and he made notes of some questions for the Mahatma and asked his wife to take them to HPB for transmittal. She did so and was told by HPB to put them in an ornamental cupboard which hung on the wall between her two rooms. This was the controversial shrine used later by Madam Column to bring HPB to grief. And how, in this letter, how HPV requested Brother Sinet to put the letter, means question letter to Mahatma. Then how this the answer will come. The two women sat chatting, and in about 10 minutes, it is in the written in chronological letter number 108. How this question in the form of a letter, when it was requested to Blavatsky to send to Mahatma, and within 10 minutes, the reply received. The two women sat chatting, means Mrs. Sinet and H.P. Blavatsky. And in about 10 minutes, H.P. told Mrs. Sinet to look again in the cupboard. And there she found the Mahatma's reply lying with Senate's papers of notes. Senate's papers of notes. Whether this is that reply is not revealed, but it very well could be, since the letter is obviously answering some questions. So here Mahatma in this letter replied to the questions raised by Mr. Sinet. So uh, there are many things mentioned in this letter. I am going to present my uh, PowerPoint to you. So let us start with presentation of PowerPoint. Yes. So here Mahatma mentioned in this slide, my dear ward, will not, if you please, deal at present with the situation concerning stars and obscurations for reasons very plainly told to you this morning by HPB. My task becomes with every letter more dangerous. It becomes exceedingly difficult to teach you and hold at the same time strictly to the original program of the Theosophical Society. So far shall we go and no further. Yet hold to it we must and will. Some mistake is there, will. You have entirely mistaken by my meaning in the telegram. So here Mahatma mentioned my word. My word means what Sister Joy Mills mentioned. Mahatma sometimes Sinet himself, he called Mahatma his guardian. Huh? Mahatma his guardian. That is the reason Mahatma address here my word. Huh? Here you see the my word. Will not, if you please, deal at present with the situation concerning the stars and obscurations. It was what Joy Mills mentioned. There are some kind of questions raised by Brother Sinet to Mahatma concerning stars and obscuration, means uh, not so much on astronomy per se, but evolutionary cycles through the rounds and chains. So Mahatma at that time was busy how to establish Phoenix newspaper. He is helping the Theosophical Society to collect money, etc. At that time, in the same question letter, Senate asked about the evolutionary um, position of stars, how it is coming in the obstruction, all these things. So that is the reason Mahatma here told, if you please deal at present with the situation, we will not, if you please deal at present with the situation concerning stars and obstruction. For reason very plainly told you this morning by Blavatsky also mentioned that this is the reason we should not have think of this matter. Then it becomes extremely difficult to teach. That is another point is the way Mahatma explaining. And day by day, the Senate also asking many questions. So it becomes difficult to teach you. Difficult because of the questions asked by Brother Sinet to Mahatma. So it is becoming difficult to teach you. So same time strictly to the original program. This is the original program. So Mahatma here mentioned that we should be more concerned with the original program of the Theosophical Society. It is still valid for us. Many people are doing many things, but forgetting the original program of the Theosophical Society. There is a small little pamphlet type book, but a best valuable book. Of course, brother N. Siram also mentioned what should be the original program of. So each member of Theosophical Society must read this original program of Theosophical Society written by H.P. Blavatsky and the role of Theosophical Society uh, at present written probably by N. Sriram, that we should follow. So we'll go to the next slide. The words more and there related to the true explanation of your vision, not by any means to a promise of some further psychological experiments made in that direction by myself. The vision was due to an attempt by Jual Kul, when DK means Jual Kul, the senior most disciple of Mahatma. Subsequently, he has taken the highest initiation and became the masters. So, Jual Kul, who is extremely interested in your progress, while he succeeded getting out of your body, while he succeeded in getting out of your body, he fell entirely. And you see the wordings Mahatma used here. He fell uh, entirely in his effort to open your inner vision for reasons correctly surmised at the time by yourself. Very interesting thing. Even if a Mahatma and also one of his best student means Jual Kul, he is interested to uh, make or to bring your inner vision, but the problem lies with us. Uh, so that is the reason the inner vision is not a Sinet's inner vision is uh, not able to, it is not able to come out, you can say. Here, the sister Joy Mills mentioned about uh, the dangerous, the Mahatma mentioning the word in previous slide, dangerous. My task becomes with every letter more dangerous. It becomes exceedingly difficult to teach you and hold at the same time strictly to the original program. Why has writing the letter conveying the teachings become not only difficult but dangerous? So, was it dangerous for Mahatma or for Synod? At the same time, same at the outset of this correspondence, Master KH said that he would answer Synod question in so far as he remained consonant with the rules to which he was pledged. Means rules of the original program. So, but in this slide, Mahatma mentioned that even Brother Jual Kul, he was not able to succeeded or failed in his effort to open your inner vision. So we'll go to the next slide. I took no personal active part in the attempt. Hence my answer, surmise correct, more at that. I am very I'm in a very false position just now, have in order not to jeopardize the possibility of the future to be double cautious, to be double cautious. The probable date of your departure well on or about April 7th. If your impatience disagrees with this desire of mine, you are free to do as you like. So in this third slide, Mahatma mentioned that relating to mentioned about the one point is the departure date of Brother Sinet and impatience. There are among us many who are very impatient in our attempt effort. So that is the way we are doing in our mundane world. So here Mahatma uh,
कल हम उनको फोन कर देंगे जब हम आ जाएंगे घर.
so the position is Mahatma given a date in which Brother Sinet is to leave for England in a departure, but a Sinet family already left for England on a March 30th. So here in this slide, it is only impatience Mahatma mentioned more particularly. About next slide. In the next slide, yes, I would look upon it as a personal favor. I am profoundly disgusted with the apathy of my countrymen in general. More than ever, I trust but in the few staunch workers of the lawless, helpless Theosophical Society. In this slide, Mahatma clearly mentioned that because of his Kashmir Brahmin, so he is not happy with the people of Indian people. I am profoundly disgusted with the apathy of my countrymen in general. Then, second part, the Viceroy's letter would be of the greatest help if it could be but judiciously used. But in such matters, I see I am no judge, as I now augur from the impression left on your mind by Srinivasa Rao and others. The incident of February 7th being explained, your question relating to the earlier restriction is covered. So Mahatma here in this slide mentioned about the role played by the um, people of India, means members of Theosophical Society of Indian origin. So he is not happy uh, the way we are at that time the members of Theosophical Society is doing work. So we'll go to the next slide. May I beg of you two more personal and important favors. Two more personal and important favors. First, to ever bear in mind that, kindly see, this is the very important points Mahatma mentioned for us. First, to ever bear in mind that whenever, bear in mind that whenever and whatever is possible, always done for you, unurged. Hence, never, hence, hence never either ask for or suggest it yourself, since it will amount to simply avoiding me the supremely disagreeable task of having to refuse friends' request without being in a position to explain a reason. Why? So you see what Mahatma trying to giving an instruction to us. You see, imagine yourself, you are in the position of Senate and being some kind of senior, holding the senior post, Senate at that time, vice president of Theosophical Society. And as he has the opportunity to get the answer, so he recommend Mahatma to or suggest Mahatma something which Mahatma is not in a position to do. So he is bear in mind that whenever and whatever is possible will be always done for you unurged, without any argument, without any kind of restriction. Mahatma will do for us. Hence, never either to ask for, don't demand Mahatma should give us or consider us or do it or suggest it yourself, since it will amount to what is the reason behind it. Since it will amount to simply avoiding to me the supremely disagreeable of task of having to refuse a friend's request. Senate, even if a lay chela, Mahatma at that level, he mentioned that it is a disagreeable task of having to refuse friend's request without moreover being in a position to explain reason why. This is the difficult. So we should avoid in our effort or in our dreams or in our uh, to ask for any benefit or anything from the great ones. Whatever position, as per our evolution stage, as per our role we are playing for the benefit of the humanity or work we are doing for the Mahatma through Theosophical Society, we will certainly get benefit. So here Mahatma indirectly mentioned here that to the members of Theosophical Society, don't suggest anything, don't ask anything. Whatever possible or whenever it is possible, you will be given. So we'll get to the next slide. And a second important point here, remember that though personally and for your own sake, I may be prepared to do a great deal, I have in no way bound myself to do anything of this sort for the fellows of the British Theosophical Society. Sorry, there is some. So here in this slide, Mahatma mentioned that as an individual member, he is ready to help Brother Senate, but he cannot help the whole members of the or total member of the British Theosophical Society. So that is reason the first point says uh, uh, there is two distinction between fellows of the British Theosophical Society and individual. The second point, I have placed my word to you to teach them through your kind agency or philosophy, and whether they accept it or not. But I have never undertaken to convince any of them to the extent of our powers, nor even our personal existence. Mahatma here mentioned that uh, uh, you, as a lay chela, I can guide you, I can help you, I can uh, try to improve your quality, etc. Suppose it requires for the benefit of the human, like Brother Sido, little bit animation, they help. So remember that though personally and for your own sake, I may be prepared to do a great deal, I have in no way bound myself to the others, because the others members of Theosophical Society in lodges and in you will mark now, all are not in a good position to receive the blessings, because it depends upon a person's interest, a person's quality, a person's own exertion or effort to know the truth and the work what he has been doing or he or she has been doing, then they will certainly get the benefits. So here he mentioned that I have no way bound myself to do anything this sort of the fellows of the British Theosophical Society. I have placed my word to you to teach them through your kind agency. So then for the benefit of others, Mahatma mentioned, through you, I can help them. I can help. So, but I have never undertaken to convince any of them of the extent of our powers, nor even our personal existence. That two things I will not. Neither I will show my powers or my establish my existence, personal existence, so that others will believe. Then we will go to the next slide. Next slide is another important because in this slide, their belief or disbelief in the latter is a matter of very trifling importance to us indeed. What are the next last point is a previous slide point is we will not extend our powers or even personal existence. We will not prove to show that we have so much power, we have so and our existence. But further Mahatma says in this slide, their belief or disbelief in the latter uh, uh, latter means Mahatma is a matter of a very trifling importance to us. If they are ever to be benefited by our promise, it must be through you alone, your own personal effort. Nor can you ever see me in flesh, not even in a clearly defined vision, unless you are prepared to place your honor never to reveal the fact to anyone, so long as you live. Save you receive, save you receive permission to that effect. In this present slide, Mahatma clearly given direction that belief and disbelief on the powers of the masters and the existence of no way importance to them. Either you believe the powers of the master or you not believe in the powers of the masters, no way concern with the Mahatmas. But particularly subsequently in the early 20th century, what happened? Uh, People are projecting Mahatma as if just demigod and all these things created. So that is the reason Brother J. Krishnamurti very strongly objected the way members of Theosophical Society projected Mahatma in a limited vision. So here Mahatma believe or disbelieve in the latter in the Mahatma is a matter of very trifling importance to us indeed. That is one point we must be sure or aware of it. Then second thing, suppose anyone is I am dividing this last sentence of this slide. You receive permission to that effect. Say you receive your permission. Suppose one gentleman, Krishna or something, he uh, tried to forcibly enter means to the ashram of Mahatma. So he traveled in a different trains, then bullock cart, then subsequently he reached Darjeeling. From Darjeeling to then next is Bhutan, and Bhutan before crossing the Bhutan to Tibet, he was uh, uh, he his way was stopped by one of our inner founder. That as far as here you came here, now you return back. So unless you get permission to see the great ones, either by the masters or, and there is also plays. So that is relating to this second point. If they are ever to be benefited by our promise, it must be through you alone and your personal effort. Whoever will get benefit from the Mahatma letters or from theosophical teachings, it is those who are serious students, they will help the others who have shown some interest, so they can get. Then second point, you cannot see me in flesh. Uh, but it is given to Synod that you cannot see in me flesh, not even clear defined vision. Defined vision means astral. Astrally you cannot see me. If possible, unless you are prepared to pledge your honor, never to reveal the fact to anyone. Unless you pledged, promise that you will not reveal it to anyone during as long as you live. And even that too, see the masters in a clearly defined vision means astrally or flesh in a physically, permission is necessary. Permission from the great ones or from their Johans. So that is important point here in this slide. Then we will go to the next. That the consequence of such pledge to Mahatma or to the promise will never be satisfied as an ever recurring doubt in the minds of your British fellows. It is just what we want for the present. Too much or too little was said and proved of us as a auction just not. We are ordered to set ourselves to work to sweep away few vestiges for which fresh policy you are indebted to the insistent underground intrigues of our ex-friend, Mr. Hume, now entirely in the hands of brothers of the shadow. And the more our actually existence be doubted, the better. Here, Mahatma clearly mentioned the danger of this brother Hume, ex-friend Master Hume, was entirely in the hands of brothers of shadow. So one thing is that as long as we are in a doubt of existence of the Mahatmas, doubt of their powers, their philosophy, their wisdom, uh, no, it will never come to our satisfaction. Either the teachings or the Theosophical Society or the members' role, all these things will create doubt. Uh, so, we are ordered, second point in this slide, to set ourselves to work to sweep away few vestiges for which fresh policy you are indebted to the incessant underground intrigues of our ex-friend Mr. Hume. So, if we will mark every now and then in Theosophical Society and branch level, there are some members, they're creating problem for smooth functioning of the Theosophical Society. So at that time, Brother Hume created some problem, and Mahatma was because he was authorized to protect the Theosophical Society. So at that time, he was helping how to save the society. So we'll go to the next slide. As to taste and convincing proof of the Sadducees of Europe generally and those of England especially, this is something to be left entirely out of our future program. Unless allowed to use our own judgment and means, the course of future events will by no means run smooth. You see. Thus, you should never use such phrases as for the sake of strength with friends at home, as they would be sure to do no good, would simply irritate, the more the other powers that be, to use the ridiculous phrase. It is relating to the way Brother Sinnett was asking the help of Mahatma. Now we'll go to the next slide. It is not always flattering, good friend, to be placed even by those one like the best on the same level with cells and medium for the purpose of the test. I thought you had luckily outgrown that stage. Let us hold at present to the simply intellectual aspect of our intercourse and busy ourselves but with philosophy and your future paper, and leave the rest to time and its unforeseen development. It is precisely because I follow and perceive the dual working of your mind in making such requests that I sign myself invariably your affectionate friend, Master KH. So here in this last portion of this letter, Mahatma mentioned that he is he follow and perceive the dual working of your mind, the way which we are working. He also marked it here. Further, he said, let us hold at present to the simply intellectual aspect of our intercourse. Intellectual aspect of our intercourse, and busy ourselves but with philosophy and your future paper. So at that time, Brother Sinnett was preparing a book, writing a book known as Esoteric Buddhism. In that, so Mahatma, instead of developing or creating or helping like a jewel cool to bring an inner man, so he mentioned in this last portion of this letter that presently we confine ourselves our intellectual aspect. Intellectual aspect, study, etc., and writing books, article, etc. But the other part, other important part is our sadhana position, how we will meditate and prosper and help others to improve their intuition. All these things is the other part. So yeah, simply intellectual aspect our intercourse means interaction, and busy ourselves but with the philosophy only. This what is the teachings of the Mahatma, and your future purpose. That is the all here mentioned. And another point, Mahatma is working the dual working of your mind in making such. I sign myself. So here this letter number 108. ML 58 completed. So we will go to the next slide. That is very small letter 109. Mahatma letter number 119. The person to him, just a hint by letter, some hints given. The person to whom this letter, rather two short notes and news clipping is address is not indicated in this letter. Although it may have been HP or Damodar or Alcott, since the Mahatma seems occasional to have sent messages through all these persons. Two notes are for the purpose of transmitting a newspaper clipping and suggesting that it be given to Brother Sinnett. Sir John Lubbock, mentioned in the clipping, lived 1834 to 1913. He was an English banker and naturalistic. He was the first to use the term Paleolithic and Neolithic age. Procan is a bright star in the constellation, Canis, lesser dog, east of Orion. This is relating to our astrological, astronomical figures, etc. Near Gemini, Algol is a bright variable star in Perseus. It loses most of its brightness when eclipsed by its dark companion. In Greek mythology, Medusa was one of the three gorgons slain by Perseus. So it is all relating to some other matters relating to all. So here Mahatma mentioned, give Mr. Sinet my salam and ask him to comment upon the slips enclosed. He may know that I mean him to write upon the subject editorial. Tell him also that this is short and precious, ought not to be wasted. Mahatma mentioned here. Then the following may lead later to the curious confirmation of our obscuration doctrine, which so puzzled my friend, means Sinet, the editor of Phonex. Will you kindly likewise comment upon it and oblige thereby yours? So here we conclude this letter number 109. So this is all. Thank you for listening my presentation, and also some kind of PowerPoint presentation to you. Thank you very much. Now it is over to Minaki.
Meenakshi ji, please give the Hindi translation.
मैंने क्या अनम्यूट करिए, आप अनम्यूट करिए, अनम्यूट.
ओके, थैंक यू.
हाँ.
सभी को नमस्ते. थैंक यू ब्रदर महापात्रा जी. आज हम क्रोनोलॉजिकल लेटर नंबर 108 और 109 ले रहे हैं. लेटर नंबर 108 मास्टर के एच एपी सीनेट को मार्च 1883 में लिखते हैं. सीनेट परिवार इंग्लैंड जाने से पूर्व मद्रास में रुकते हैं. तब सीनेट अपनी पुस्तक एसोटेरिक बुद्धिज्म पर काम कर रहे थे. वे मास्टर को स्टार्स इन ऑब्सक्यूरेशंस पर अपने पत्र द्वारा प्रश्न करते हैं. उत्तर में मास्टर सीनेट को माय डियर वॉर्ड, मेरे प्रिय शिष्य कहकर संबोधित करते हुए आगे कहते हैं कि यदि आप चाहे तो इस समय स्टार्स एंड ऑब्सक्यूरेशंस इस विषय पर हम चर्चा न करें. हर एक पत्र के साथ मेरा कार्य और अधिक जोखिम भरा हो रहा है. मूल कार्यक्रम ओरिजिनल प्रोग्राम का सख्ती से पालन करना और साथ ही आपको सिखाना बहुत ही मुश्किल भरा होता है. इसलिए अभी के लिए हम आगे नहीं बढ़ेंगे, लेकिन आप इंतजार करें, हम यह कार्य जरूर करेंगे, ऐसा आश्वासन मास्टर सीनेट को देते हैं. मास्टर सीनेट से कहते हैं कि आपको टेलीग्राम में लिखा हुआ मोर एट अड्यार यह संदेश आपके विजन से, दृष्टि से ताल्लुक रखता है. उस विषय में आप पर मेरे द्वारा साइकोलॉजिकल प्रयोग करने का कोई वादा नहीं है. ज्वालकुल आपकी प्रगति में अत्यधिक रुचि रखते हैं. उन्हें आपको आपके शरीर से बाहर निकालने में सफलता मिली, लेकिन आपकी अंतर्दृष्टि को उजागर करने के प्रयास में विफल रहे. जिसके कारणों का उस समय आपने सही अनुमान लगाया था। आगे मास्टर कहते हैं कि मुझे अत्यधिक सतर्क रहने का आदेश है, जिससे कि भविष्य की संभावित घटनाओं को नुकसान न हो। आपके प्रस्थान की संभावित तिथि क्या है? 7 अप्रैल या उसके आसपास। यदि आपकी अधीरता मेरी इस इच्छा से सहमत नहीं करती, तो आप जो चाहे करने के लिए स्वतंत्र हैं। मैं उसे व्यक्तिगत कृपा के रूप में देखूंगा। मैं अपने देशवासियों की बेपरवाही से बहुत नाराज हूँ। अभागी और असहाय थियोसॉफिकल सोसाइटी के कुछ ही निष्ठावान कार्यकर्ता पर मुझे भरोसा है। मास्टर सीनेट से 2 महत्वपूर्ण आश्वासन चाहते हैं। पहला यह कि हमेशा यह ध्यान में रखें कि आपके विनती के बिना ही जब कभी और जो कुछ भी संभव हो आपके लिए किया जाएगा। इसीलिए कभी भी किसी बात के लिए स्वयं न पूछे और न ही सुझाव दे, क्योंकि यह मेरे लिए अपने मित्र के अनुरोध को स्वीकार करने का अस्वीकार करने का बड़ा ही अनुचित कार्य होगा, यह जानते हुए कि इसके पीछे का क्या कारण है। और दूसरा यह कि चाहे मैं व्यक्तिगत तौर पर आपके खातिर बहुत कुछ करने के लिए तैयार हूँ, लेकिन मैंने किसी भी तरह से ब्रिटिश थियोसॉफिकल सोसाइटी के सभासदों के लिए कुछ भी करने के लिए स्वयं को बाध्य नहीं किया है। वे चाहे हमारे तत्वज्ञान को स्वीकार करे या न करे, आपके माध्यम से उन्हें सिखाने के लिए मैं आपसे प्रतिज्ञाबद्ध हूँ। हमारी सिद्धियां और हमारे अस्तित्व पर उनके यकीन करने का दायित्व मैंने नहीं लिया है। हमारे अस्तित्व पर उनका विश्वास या अविश्वास करना हमारे लिए मायने नहीं रखता। यदि उन्हें कुछ लाभ होना ही है, तो वह सिर्फ आपके माध्यम से और आपके स्वयं के प्रयत्नों द्वारा ही होगा। आगे मास्टर कहते हैं कि जब तक आप संपूर्ण जीवन भर के लिए इस तथ्य को प्रकट न करने की शपथ नहीं लेते या जब तक आपको अनुमति नहीं मिलती, तब तक मैं न ही आपको प्रत्यक्ष रूप से नजर आऊंगा और न ही आपकी विकसित अंतर्दृष्टि में। परिणाम स्वरूप आपकी इस तरह की प्रतिज्ञा से संतुष्ट न होकर ब्रिटिश सभासदों के मन में बार बार संदेह होगा। वर्तमान स्थिति में हम यही चाहते हैं। आगे मास्टर कहते हैं कि हमारे पूर्व मित्र रहे ह्यूम, जो अभी संपूर्णतः दुष्ट शक्तियों के प्रभाव में है, उनके द्वारा निरंतर गुप्त साजिशों से फैलाए गए दुष्प्रभावों को दूर करने का हमें आदेश दिया गया है। इसीलिए हमारे वास्तविक अस्तित्व के बारे में जितना संदेह हो उतना बेहतर होगा। यूरोप और खासकर इंग्लैंड के प्रतिष्ठित सदस्यों का परीक्षण और उन्हें हमारे अस्तित्व का ठोस प्रमाण देना, इन्हें हमारे आगामी कार्यक्रमों से पूरी तरह बाहर रखा जाना है। जब तक हमारे विचार और तरीकों को अपनाने की अनुमति नहीं दी जाती, तब तक भविष्य में होने वाले कार्य कठिनाइयों के बिना नहीं होंगे। मास्टर सीनेट से अनुरोध करते हैं कि मेरे देश के मित्रजनों के खातिर जैसे वाक्यों का आप प्रयोग न करें, क्योंकि वे निश्चित ही कोई अच्छा कार्य नहीं करेंगे, बल्कि अन्य शक्तियों को सिद्धियों को प्राप्त करने के लिए परेशान करेंगे। परीक्षण के उद्देश्य से भूत प्रेत और मीडियम्स के समान स्तर पर रखा जाना सदा ही संतोषजनक नहीं होता। मुझे लगा कि आप सौभाग्य से उस अवस्था से आगे निकल गए हैं। मास्टर कहते हैं कि वर्तमान स्थिति में हम और आप सिर्फ आपके आने वाले वृत्तपत्र पर और तत्वज्ञान पर विचार करें और बाकी सब समय और अप्रत्याशित घटनाओं पर छोड़ दें और बाकी सब समय और अप्रत्याशित घटनाओं पर छोड़ दें। आगे का पत्र है क्रोनोलॉजिकल लेटर नंबर 109। यह पत्र मास्टर के एच दामोदर को लिखते हैं मार्च 1883 में। मास्टर कहते हैं कि मिस्टर सीनेट को मेरा सलाम कहे और उनसे पत्र के साथ संलग्न न्यूज़पेपर कटिंग पर टिप्पणी करने के लिए कहें। उन्हें पता चल सकता है कि मैं उनसे इस विषय पर संपादकीय रूप से क्या लिखने के लिए कह रहा हूँ। उन्हें यह भी कहे कि समय थोड़ा है और अमूल्य है, उसे व्यर्थ नहीं करना चाहिए। निम्नलिखित बातें ऑब्स्क्यूरेशन डॉक्ट्रिन की उत्सुकतापूर्ण पुष्टि की ओर ले जा सकती है, जो फोनिक्स के संपादक मेरे मित्र को बहुत उलझन में डालती है। क्या आप इस पर टिप्पणी करके कृपा करेंगे? थैंक यू। नमस्ते।
Thank you, Meenakshi ji. Now we open up the forum for any discussion or questions. 1 minute. Can you all unmute yourselves? Sir, Pradeep ji, I'd like to just add something interesting that I noticed.
Yes, yes, yes.
So generally this Master K writes in blue pencil and Master M writes in red. And blue and red are their respective ray colors.
Okay. Yes, I have no idea relating to that. Maybe because one always write in blue, another always in red.
It has a that is the ray they belong to. The blue ray is Master K, that is the ray of the teacher, and Master M is the red ray belonging to the ray of the leader.
Maybe that may be the correct. I'm not sure.
But why, esoterically, there must be some reason why their letters come in those colors.
Okay.
Also, like one more thing, there is a video of Radha ji in the US while Tim Boyd was the president of the US TS. There's a talk of Radha ji, and in that among the crowd, one lady asked, "Are you still in touch with the masters?" So
Yes, yes.
Radha ji answers, "It's a personal relationship. I cannot talk about it." So this point is mentioned here that even if we show ourselves to you, you cannot talk about it. And the same thing is mentioned, like I'm doing the Jeffrey Hodgson letters by also, and they have also mentioned the same thing to Hodgson, that only after your death, your letters will be your experience with us will be published. So,
Same thing also happened in the case of Mother Sinnett. During the lifetime of Sinnett, it was not published. After the death of Sinnett, then it was with the permission of Sinnett's relatives or relations, some kind of committee was formed, then it is published. Details I am not sure about.
anyone else wants to say something? Okay, then we'll move to closing. I request Sister Mitalani to give us the closing prayer today. Thank you.
Namaste to all. Om Asato ma Satkamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirkamaya Mrityurma Amrutangamaya Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pasyantu ना कस्य दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शांति शांति।
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Review.